Do not rely on your logo to drive your business.
My name is Matt Tanner, and this is Franchisees United. What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 4 of the Franchisees United podcast. This is your host, Matt Tanner. Today, I have the privilege of welcoming on 2 Orangetheory franchisees, Manny Sierra and Kim Wedderburn.
Hey.
I pronounced
You nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Us.
We are very excited to be here.
We are super excited because, as I told you earlier, we've had 3 episodes so far. This is our 4th episode, and this is the first time we've had a franchisee on. So, super excited to learn a little bit about you guys, how you got into the brand, and where you're at today, and where you want to be in the future. So, I guess let's start with you, Manny. How did you get into Orangetheory?
How long is this podcast for? Just so kind of make sure I'm...
Absolutely. Do your thing.
Okay. So how I got started. I think I got started because I really, really, really loved fitness. You know, my first position in the industry was a personal trainer. I was a trainer at this company. You might have maybe remember it, called Body of Change, LA Fitness, a long time ago.
Okay. And
I just knew at that point that this was for me. So... the exciting part is that, because I know we're going to go full circle with Orangetheory, I was the general manager of a big box gym, big 30,000 square foot, private label gym over in Weston, Florida. And one day, I'm sure you can probably relate to this, is I saw it. I felt it. You know what I'm talking about?
You wanted to own your own.
That ceiling. That glass ceiling.
Okay.
And I realized one day that this was not going to be my end all be all. I had more to offer, I had more to do, I wanted more.
Right.
So at the same time, incredibly, around the corner, this little fitness thing was coming up, right? And I drove by because they're competitors. So I just was sniff around.
Yep.
And I drove by, I saw the orange lights, and I saw some music coming out. I'm like, what is this thing? And sure enough, the next couple of days, I discovered my friend's a coach. I'd go do a class, and that was it. That's all I needed.
You loved it.
And that was all I needed. I found out that they were hiring for a studio manager. I applied on a Monday. I applied over the weekend, got interviewed on Monday, interviewed on Tuesday, hired on Wednesday.
So did you get hired by a franchisee or by corporate? Right?
It was franchisee.
Okay.
So back then we had about 20 stores, I think, worldwide.
If that.
And what year was this?
Oh my goodness. 2012.
Okay.
2012. So it was kind of a nice clean cut.
Yeah.
I started January 1st, 2012
Perfect.
as a studio manager.
Wow.
And boy, oh boy, did I earn some stripes and learn my way around that pretty quick. Because it's such a different world.
Oh my God.
It's not like the typical, fitness experience, right? Or fitness business. But the good news is that I've earned enough stripes and we were small enough for the right people to notice. And the right people noticed. Yeah. Because we were still so small. And if you perform well, it kind of climbs the ladder quickly.
Right.
So I always hate saying this part, but I'll say it. I actually resigned from the brand. I resigned from Orangetheory at that studio. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, the right people listened, the right people noticed, and I got a phone call that changed my life. And that was from our CEO, Dave. And he said, you know what, before you leave, let's talk about a few things. And before I know it...
Is the CEO of the brand? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and is he still the CEO?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes, he's our fearless leader.
Awesome.
But that call changed my life. And I know it sounds kind of cliche, but it literally changed my life. My whole direction changed after that meeting. Next thing I know, I'm a regional operator for our studios in Fort Lauderdale.
Wow.
On my way to relocate to Orlando to open up 30, 40 studios up there for the brand as an area developer with Dave and Jerome. And all along knowing that I wanted to come home. Yeah. And this is my home. South Florida is my home. For sure. So after I earned some more stripes in Orlando and we opened up some studios and had a lot of success, I called back and I said, you know what, I'm ready to come home. And that's where this goes into my franchisee life. And I came down. I earned my role as a senior director of sales for the entire brand of Orangetheory Fitness, where I wrote initiatives that are still used to this day. Marketing and sales initiatives that are still used actually right now in January.
That's
TC
right.
Challenge.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to live a dream, and that was to own a piece of the business that I like to feel like I helped build.
For sure.
So the moons aligned, and I had an opportunity to buy into some local franchisee group that owns 5 studios. Gotcha. So I now own 5 Orangetheory studios here in South Florida.
That's phenomenal. And
here I am on your show.
So where are all your 5 of your locations at in South Florida?
Yeah, I have 2 in Boca. That's Central Boca, West Boca. You go up the 441 corridor there. I got West Del Rey, Lake Worth, and all the way up to Wellington.
Okay. Who has the There's one right up the road from me. It's I want to say it's Pompano. It's right across the street from the Wawa. Maybe it's not Pompano.
Actually, not familiar.
Okay. It's like 5 minutes. It's in a shopping center with like a Publix.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
not
curious.
sure who's that one is.
We love Publixes.
Yeah.
We do, yeah.
So that's where we're like. I'm developing tropical smoothies right now. So I have to open up 3 in South Florida, and that's what the real estate guys at corporate say. Hey, public centers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to find the right locations, but as you guys know, it's just tough in South Florida.
It is.
Yeah.
So you kind of got into it you got into the franchise space from the corporate side first, just being passionate about the brand, and then diving into as a franchisee. So that's fantastic. So Ken, tell us about how you got started. From my understanding, it's a lot different of an angle if you coming in as a franchisee.
Oh yeah. I think actually Manny and I are completely opposite sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
To kind of echo what he said earlier, I got into the franchise because I really, really, really hated exercise.
Really? That's interesting.
Yes. I hated it. When I found Orangetheory, it was honestly out of desperation. I was a customer first.
Okay.
So I started by working out at the Fort Lauderdale studio. And it was referred to me by our realtor, and they were like, look, if you're just frustrated, and I was, because I wasn't self-motivated in the gym, and I knew I wanted to be athletic, but I didn't want to be the person to make myself be athletic, if that makes any sense. I needed someone to tell me what to do.
Right.
But I didn't want to go the personal trainer route, so I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'll try this class.
Mm-hmm.
I tried the class. It killed me.
You feel great afterwards.
The next morning, I swear, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, holy crap. This thing works.
Yeah.
And it was magic ever since. And I just thought I was going to be a customer for life.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is how I'm going to force myself to be athletic. And I told my husband, Jamal, about it. And he was like, cool, chick workout. Enjoy that.
Yeah, right.
And he put off attending with me for months.
Really?
And finally,
would he go to the actual gym, or does he just do nothing?
Yeah, he did his own thing, He
weightlifted
and all that stuff. Not knocking it.
Right.
But, men are more difficult to get into a group class.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's true.
Finally, he came with me. I think it was one of those, condescending, okay, fine, I'll get her to shut up kind of things. And he came with me. Sure enough, he fell madly in love with it because it wasn't a chick workout.
Yeah.
It's never been a chick workout.
Mm-hmm.
And he almost died, and he was sold too. So we were attending regularly for a few months. And at the same time, he was consulting. He's an independent consultant. He works for Epic Software Systems and is flying all over the place. We wanted to start a family, but I only saw him 3 times a week.
Right.
So when Orangetheory started putting those little brochures on the door saying, would you be interested in a franchise? And I was like, oh, look at this. And showed it to him, and pretty much the rest is history. We were like, okay, let's do this. Mm-hmm. And that was right after the Great Recession. I don't know if y'all remember that. But it was at a time where we had to liquidate our 401k and pay cash.
Wow.
So we spent our entire life savings.
This is a big leap of faith.
Opening studio number 49. To echo Manny, there were only maybe 20 operational for a couple months as we were trying to do this. And it came down to the last $50K. We did not have it. We didn't have the money. And we asked all of our friends, all of our family. Everybody said no because everyone was scared.
Yep.
It's just another fitness concept. We didn't know what to do.
100%.
So we we threw a dart at the wall for an SBA, and we did not look good on paper because I have an English degree. And we had a couple dings on our credit on his side because of the recession. So our application went to this man who was notorious for rejecting them because he had been burned a lot. And this was a new concept. Right. He didn't know what we were going to do. And we just knew we were going to get rejected. But on the day that he was supposed to be reviewing our file, he called in sick. And his subordinate reviewed our file instead. And he was this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, enthusiastic newbie who was like, it's $50K. Signed off on it. We got the loan and we were able to pay for our treadmills.
Wow.
So, you know, we are people of faith, and we firmly believe that this was meant to happen, and it was meant to be part of our life story, to open and grow and evolve with this brand. And we became one of the top performing studios in South Florida. So
that's
we're
incredible.
Very, very excited about it. But it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears for sure. And it came down to the wire.
Yeah, no, that's a really crazy story. It's crazy because, you know, I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. And like, and even throughout the bad times, like even if you were to get rejected, you know, it would have been for a reason, right? There's a lot of like franchise deals that have fallen through in the past for me personally. And then I ended up in a different state because of it, and then ended up buying new locations and selling them successfully. And it's just crazy to really look back and be like, if that deal went the opposite direction,
you wouldn't be where you are now.
Entire life, like I wouldn't even know these guys. I would literally not even know. I wouldn't even know them. Yeah, it's incredible. So it really puts things in perspective.
Forces you to operate out of gratitude.
100%. So what do you guys do? I guess day to day. I know you and your husband own some, and you have a group. So what are your guys' roles within your locations?
So my situation is, I hate to use the word perfect, but it's almost perfect because I operate 100%.
So you're the operating guy.
100%.
Okay.
And that's how I had to have it, but in a really good way.
Yeah.
So I don't know if a lot of people I recently read this or heard this, but I got to share it.
Yeah.
You don't double down on your strengths, you triple down on what you do well. Like, stop wasting time trying to do more than you're really, really good at.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that I'm really, really good at leading people and leading studios and driving this business home. And that's what the partnership team all agreed on.
Yeah.
So it's like...
You think that's what Dave saw in you in 2012?
You know, I like to think so.
You think,
I like to think so. I think he saw a young gun down the street because we're in Fort Lauderdale. We're right there. Like Weston, Fort Lauderdale. You get there in 25 minutes.
So is that where Orangetheory was started?
17th Street. Okay. Yeah, Fort Lauderdale.
Wow.
Yep. So anyway, so that's my day-to-day. My day-to-day is to make sure I develop the people around me and I drive the business home. And that's what I'm good at.
Gotcha. So you're doing all the hiring. Are you selling memberships, all that stuff as well? Or is
all I care about is making the people around me better.
Okay.
I don't want to dive into the minutia. I don't want to really do the daily tasks.
Yeah.
I want to develop the people to do the task better.
For sure. So you have salespeople that you just focus on developing, and
the way we kind of org chart this thing is like every studio is its own little business, right? So each studio has a studio manager, and beneath them they have an assistant studio manager if the base is high enough, and then they have associates along the way.
Got it.
Then we have the fitness side where you have a head coach and the coaches.
Yep.
So every day I am looking at how can I make my studio managers more productive, more motivated, or actually not motivated. I want to be careful I don't demotivate them. Because if I'm doing it the right way, I'm hiring people that are already motivated.
Yes.
For sure.
But what a lot of franchisees, a lot of leaders make the mistake is they think they have to always drive them and overly motivate them.
That's very true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very true.
So that's my role.
If you feel that way, then you probably just don't have the right people in place. If you feel like you constantly have to be on them every single day or every week, it's probably just not the right person.
I have to share this because that's a good point.
Go ahead.
One more. Jim Collins, Good to Great. You just triggered something.
Yeah.
It's not finding the best people. It's finding the right people.
Yes.
And there's a difference. Like, I'd rather find the right person to be a studio leader. They might not have as much experience as person A or person B.
Yeah.
But damn it, give me a smile and give me a dial and that's what get out of my way. That's all I need.
For sure. 100%. I mean, that's so true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
What about you, Kim?
Beautifully said.
What do you do day to day for your locations?
Day to day, because the Hallandale studio is so brand new, it's like a new baby, right? So you're teaching it how to walk, you're teaching it how to talk, you're teaching it how to do everything. So it's definitely more immersive. My older studio is almost 8 years old. Oh my God, 8 years old.
Wow.
And,
wait a second.
And then, wait, seven. We signed a franchise agreement 8 years.
Yeah, because when I was in Weston, she walked into Weston.
That's
They're
right.
like, hey, how's it going in here?
What's up?
What's up?
So, with the new baby, my current day-to-day is definitely different than it used to be.
Right.
I am there all the time. I'm going there right after we talk.
Right.
Because I want to make sure I have my finger on the pulse of how we're bringing in those sales, how we're taking care of our customers, what the verbiage is. And I know that's very type A and very, minute, but when you're that brand new,
For sure.
you need to establish the culture from the ground up. And if they see someone that wants to be there, that is passionate about it, smiling about it, coaching classes, that will rub off on everybody else around, and they pick up on that energy and they perform, they execute. So, and then of course I don't want to forget about Hollywood, so I show my face over there as well. But on the day to day, I do a lot of the smaller tasks, hiring and firing on final interview. Okay. I want to make sure that everyone that comes through the door is to our standards and we're all on the same page.
Right.
I do overarching sales for larger accounts, like with the city. I just landed a huge account with the city of Hollywood, so I want to make sure that those relationships are still being built and cultivated. And
is that like group memberships or?
My City of Hollywood account?
Yeah.
Ooh, that one's a good one. That is actually where the City of Hollywood is cutting me a check for $20,000 so that all of their employees can enjoy the membership with proof of attendance.
That's phenomenal.
Yes.
That's great.
It's wonderful. So, but it took years to develop, and I want to make sure that is continuing and growing and evolving, and you have to be there for that.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. You brought up a good point about you still have to show your face at the other location. Talk to us what that's kind of like, because I think a lot of franchisees, as having one store or one location compared to being multi-unit is just two different worlds. A lot of times an individual unit operator is just a glorified GM that owns their location. So talk to me what it's like, having a new location, being a second store or a second studio, and still having in the back of your mind saying, what I have to pay attention to this other location, even though this one's brand new, it needs the majority of your attention. Absolutely.
It's just like with kids, right? So, you have your first baby, they grow, you nurture them, they, turn into this amazing human being, and then you have another baby, right? You're going to have to pay attention to the baby that can't feed himself, change his own diaper, things like that. But the older kid, while they're, much more self-sufficient, you still need to separate out time to invest in them and make sure that they are feeling loved and nurtured and supported. So what I can say is the beautiful thing, especially about Orangetheories, is once you do the grunt work, for the most part, it becomes a well-oiled machine.
For sure.
If you have the basis of people, if you have the trust, all of the processes in place, you can just stand back and watch it do its thing, just like with a kid.
Yeah.
Just like with your kid. So really, going to Hollywood is one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah,
I go there because it's basically just schmoozing with all of the members that love us. I get to hug my people and say, what's up? Tell me what's good. And, make them feel appreciated. Yeah. And then I go and change dirty diapers at Hallandale.
So Orangetheory, a lot of people I've talked to over the past has said, there's obviously so many different fitness trends, right? Is it ever in the back of your guys' mind that maybe this is a trend versus the traditional gym has always been around? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think Orangetheory will be here forever? Or do you feel, I know you might be a little biased, but do you feel that it's just such a great concept?
Opinions.
Yeah. There's, like I said, I've heard so many different opinions, and I personally haven't, I'm going to come to one of you guys, I promise. But I personally haven't even been to an Orangetheory. Now, my dad has lost, he's his entire life, traditional gym guy. But he started at Orangetheory, probably less than a year ago, and he's dropped, 40, 50, 60.
It's magic.
I don't even know what the numbers
are. It's science.
And I think the biggest thing is just, you're and like I said, I haven't been there, but I know the concept, and I think, in my opinion, the biggest thing is the fact that there's somebody, like, you're in a class or you're doing high intensity stuff. Whereas if you go into the gym and if you're not self motivated enough, you can just kind of half-ass a workout and leave there, and then you burn a couple hundred calories. Versus these Orangetheory high intensity workouts where you're in and you're out, and it's. Am I right?
Absolutely.
So what are your thoughts? Do you think this is something that'll be around forever? And
can I take this one?
They just do Orangetheory?
Absolutely.
Gotcha. That's interesting.
Yeah, just thinking about just to touch on the competition side. So there is competition, no doubt about it. And I'll give you an example. So we mentioned the. Say it.
Yeah, I know.
We can beep it out.
Well,
say it and then
the LA, right? I don't know if you're aware of this, and I don't know if you saw this, but they literally copied Orangetheory Fitness.
How so?
How not? When you see their branding, their marketing, their imagery, their build out, they decided to block a certain square footage in their big box gyms. You saw this? To literally try to replicate Orangetheory Fitness.
Okay,
and
so
I will tell you this: it's been tried before.
Yeah,
it's failed before. There's something about a studio environment that you just can't replicate in a big box gym.
Okay.
Right now, will it happen in 10, 20, 30 years from now? I don't know.
Yeah,
but I just got to tell you right now, today.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now, because it's like it's like the square rooms. What would you call it? They have like the classes, like the spin classes.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about. I think what they're doing is just an alternative option for their members, right?
Well, because they saw what we did to their other gyms.
So how does an Orangetheory membership compare to price wise? How does that compare to a typical LA Fitness or a gym membership?
Well, I mean, I hate to use the cliche, but you get what you pay for in life.
Yeah.
So this is a formal investment into your future, your fitness future.
For sure.
So if you're looking for a results-driven experience that cannot be replicated anywhere else on this planet, you're going to pay $2 more for it.
Yeah.
And when you look at it from that perspective, can I join a gym? Of course you can join a gym. Anybody can join a gym.
Yeah.
But it's a gym.
Right.
If you want results, you have to go somewhere where all they do is deliver results. That's all we do.
Yeah.
That's all we do. We don't offer tanning. We don't offer daycare, which I know is back in the day it was a big deal.
It was a thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, our female client base, they wanted us to offer childcare bad. But we never did. And here we are today. So if you look at it from that perspective, whatever works for them, but for some reason, Orangetheory Fitness works for a whole lot of people.
Yeah. That's very interesting.
And if you don't mind me going back one step, because you asked me if my opinion on whether or not we're going to be around.
Yeah.
My answer is yes.
Okay.
And the only way I can kind of deliver this in a really an honest way is it's no longer a theory.
Pun intended.
I like that. I'm going to steal it.
It's no longer a theory. We've done something very special with this brand. I'm very proud of it.
Yeah.
I've committed my career to this brand, my most productive years of my career to this company, and I could not even dream of being anywhere else. So when I say we've proved a theory, I mean we've proven something that no one else has done, and there's something to that. So in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 100 years from now, they're going to be looking back at how Orangetheory started and where we did and how we did it. And I'm pretty excited about that. I'm very proud about that.
Yeah. That's interesting. No, I gotta go. I gotta go at some point. I have to go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come. What's the closest one to here?
Ooh.
Out of your guys' locations?
Where are we?
Boca. Probably yours.
This is Deerfield,
right?
yeah.
Well, we're kind of in the middle, right? We're central.
Central
So you might
Boca.
want to shoot up, shoot up the...
It's 10 minutes away.
Okay.
I just came from the mall.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we're going to do a first for your podcast series right now. I'm actually going to schedule your first class right now, live right
Let me give you
now.
my credit card right now.
So do me a favor. What do you prefer? Mornings or evenings?
Oh, my God.
It just depends for me. Probably mornings for this.
Okay, so we kick off really early. So we kick off at 5 a.m. So is that early for you, or you mean like early, like 8 a.m.
Let's
kind of
do
early?
it. Let's do it. 5 a.m.
You're a 5 a.m.er?
I'll do it.
Is he a 5 a.m.er, guys? Let's be honest.
5 a.m.
5 a.m.er?
I can do whatever I set my mind to.
Well, let's set your mind right now. So we're going to invite you in for your first workout on us.
Okay.
Central Boca's pretty good location.
Perfect.
Today's, Thursday? So we have a class tomorrow at 5:15, Friday morning. So I need you there a little bit earlier.
I'm there.
4:45.
Okay.
There.
So after this podcast is over, I just need your credit card to reserve your spot.
I got you.
Done. Welcome to
I'll give
Orangetheory
it to
Fitness.
you right now.
Welcome to Orangetheory Fitness. Let's book you up, man. Let's get you in the orange zone. Let's prove the theory to you.
Austin has to come with me.
Austin, you're in.
He's a bodybuilder. He's got to come.
Oh, we love bodybuilders.
Yeah, we do.
Bring them on.
We do. Power walk.
Yeah, don't worry. You don't have to go all out.
We
right
got
away.
you. We got you. We know how to handle you.
That's too funny.
Oh, I'm not kidding, by the way. So I'm going to book you guys. after we're
Yeah,
done.
that's-
Okay,
that
that's the
wasn't-
thing. All right.
So do you guys get a ton of new memberships for the new year every year?
Traditionally.
So what's the brand strategy and as well as the franchisee strategy? Do you guys run Facebook ads? How do you do lead generation? And because obviously in your business, customer acquisition is just huge for lifetime value. So how do you guys go about what's the number one way you acquire business or acquire new customers?
The number one, geez. I have like 10 different answers to that question.
Yeah.
But okay, I'll pick member referrals.
Okay.
So the best way to grow is from the inside out, right? So you develop those relationships with your current client base and invite them to continue that growth on their own. One of the best ways that I've actually found to do this is, especially with new members, I actually send them a really annoying survey monkey right after they join.
Yeah.
And two of the questions, they're very simple. What outreach event best appeals to you? And what incentivizes you the most to share the love of Orangetheory? I give them different options of different outreach events and what motivates them. And then if they respond, we set it up. Boom, just like that. That's where I get all of my lunch and learns. That's where I get all of my happy hours. That's where I get all of my referral bases from. And then we hook them up with whatever their desired incentive is. During January, our calendar is full just from people who reached out and said, hey, remember that thing that you said that you could come to my office and do lunch? Well, it's January. Everyone wants to lose weight. So can we book that?
Right.
The answer is yes. So it's just a phenomenal way to do it. And that's more grassroots, which I think a lot of people don't capitalize on enough.
Agree. Yeah. So you said lunches and then happy hours?
Absolutely.
So is that in the studio?
No.
Okay. So
no, we go to them. We go to them. We do as well do, team building workouts. We'll invite them in. I actually have a team building workout next Saturday with a really cool group in Hallandale. But those are fewer and far between. It is a premium, asset. It's $400 to rent out the studio for a private class. So that needs to be a big deal.
Yeah.
In order to swing that. For
and how
them.
many people fit into that class?
24.
Okay. It's not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
Yeah. Is that mainly like
it can go up to 36, but we prefer to keep it 24.
So is that mainly like corporate, like, is it more like businesses coming in, or is it like, okay.
A lot of birthday parties,
Birthdays.
honestly.
Oh, that's interesting.
They're
Yes.
called birthday burns.
Yep.
How about that?
Birthday burns.
Birthday burns.
Super fun.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So, what does corporate do for you guys? Like, are they running ads to get
So
people?
much.
Yeah.
So how does like the marketing, like the royalty rate versus the marketing? Is there a local and national marketing rate, or how does that work?
Yeah, because I can speak from experience, right? I just left the office, so we have a really comprehensive approach to getting marketing done, right? So, I mean, our marketing team in the office is, and I saw it evolve from many years ago to what it is today. It's incredible what we're doing. We got a new chief brand officer a little while ago. His name is Kevin Keith, who has really done an outstanding job. Just he's had a really strong vision of where this brand can go, and we're seeing it. A few years in. But you asked about how we do it. So we have national marketing. Okay. Our corporate office has our back. Then we also have regional co-ops in a lot of places, right? Okay. So if we have a region like South Florida, we have all 40 whatever number of studios we have here in South Florida now. We all chip in a little bit every month, and we get some regional level marketing done. And that could be anything from, it could be more social media, it could be doing some some grassroots, maybe some event sponsorships. I mean, that costs a lot of money. So we all get together and we get it done.
Right.
And then at the local level, I mean, each franchisee, we put money in. You have to market.
Yeah.
100%.
You know, so
I'm the biggest believer in that. I mean, I see so many franchisees that just count their pennies. Can I make it fall to the bottom line? I don't want to spend. And they're just, and I'm
dangerous.
always, it's very dangerous. And they're like, oh, like, because I'm in the food industry. So, and it's funny, I was just telling her before you got here, the guy that bought my businesses, his entire background was the gym industry. But it was like, I think it was a franchise. It was either a franchise or a mom and pop, but it was a traditional gym. And the first thing he said to me, and this was like months after he purchased the store, he's like, wow, this is a lot more work than the gym business. He's like, the gym is so much more passive. He's like, we sign out memberships, we treat customers well, we have good staff. The restaurant industry, it is, I mean, I sold him, to give you a little context here, I sold him 3 restaurants within a 5-mile geographic of each other in Tuscaloosa. So he bought all 3 of them, and he's running around crazy now. And, you know, because he ended up selling his gyms and then going to SBA and buying the locations. And now he's just like, wow, it is insane how, you know, how much attention to detail and running around and inventories. And then in the food industry, the turnover is like 150% now. It's insane. So, you know, it's just one of those things where it's just not very passive at all. You're always involved. So I kind of forget where I was going with this.
Yeah, well, we were talking about on the marketing side.
Yeah, so the marketing side. So I'm really, you know, very focused on reinvesting, especially when you have the new locations. Really reinvesting into Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and just trying things, because even though, you know, these franchise brands can do a lot for you at the national level, but there's nothing like having a localized presence. Even, you know, in the food industry, I've seen the 3 to 5 mile sweet spot from your location. If you really hammer that 3 to 5 miles right from your location, you seem to have a lot of success with that. So what have you guys seen in the gym industry? Because obviously, you know, there's, what did you say, 40 locations in South Florida?
More than that.
More than that now. Yeah. So how do you go about marketing the people that are close to your location versus maybe Manny's or someone else's? How do you go about doing that? Do you not look at it that way, or is it?
It really depends on the owners.
Okay.
It really depends on the owners.
Yeah.
To be honest, we all play very well in the sandbox. You know, we support each other because as goes, you know, the brand as a whole, we all benefit.
Yeah.
So I have wonderful relationships with most Orangetheories.
Yeah.
Some, because it's a franchise, everyone has their own ideas about it though, right? So you have to be very respectful and make sure that you're not stepping on people's toes.
Sure. Right.
That, you know, you're doing everything within the bounds of their expectations as well. So it does force you to have some conversations with other people. Now, in terms of like mailers, we have to be very, very careful about
so it's direct mail.
With the dividing line.
Okay.
Absolutely. So luckily, Hollywood and Hallandale, they're right next to each other, you know, so I can just do one massive blast for both of them.
For sure.
But Hallandale is very close to another studio, so I have to be very aware of the dividing line so that my advertisements don't cross that boundary.
Gotcha.
So it can get a little bit tricky, but in terms of like social media, you know, the tech, what can you do?
Yeah.
So our social media presence, honestly, I think still benefits everybody. If they see Orangetheory, they see Orangetheory. And when they log in, they're going to find the location that's best for them.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter. If someone sees a Hollywood advertisement in Cooper City, they're like, oh, I'm in Cooper City. Cooper City's going to get the lead. You know, they may have seen my advertisement, but Cooper City is benefiting. So it really doesn't matter at the end of the day.
And so if they get a membership at your location, obviously they can go to any
Exactly. That's another beautiful thing about Orangetheory. Absolutely.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. So, I guess my question, like, do you guys do? Because I know you said you do direct mail.
Yes.
Like, so do you run any, as the franchisee? Do you run any Facebook ads right in that area, like a couple miles from your location?
Yep.
And corporate does it as well for you guys?
Well, I mean, in a way, right? Because we do have a sophisticated approach to social media marketing, right? So if I'm spending money on one message in the market, corporate spends money on another message, but it's still the same brand. So we're not competing with each other. We're not raising our CPLs. We're just trying to keep it. We have a really smart approach to it. Gotcha. So if you're asking us, we spend money at every level. Mm-hmm. And, it kind of reminds me of a funny quote. Money flows where attention goes. So right about now, everyone is screaming in the fitness business. Yeah. Everyone's screaming. Yeah. So it's whoever's, sadly, even though, this might sound biased, we have the best fitness product in the world. Uh-huh. If they don't hear us, they won't find us. Right. And if they don't find us, they won't join us. Mm-hmm. So you could look at a lot of other competitors, and I'll just say it, like the Pelotons of the world, right?
What's it called?
Peloton.
See, I've never heard of it.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, that's nice.
Turn on TV.
I think you're the only person.
I appreciate that. That means I didn't watch too much TV.
Nice.
Keep it that way.
Good.
Keep it that way.
I don't watch any TV.
So, look, they have these beautiful ads, and they spend all this money, and look at the New Year's Eve.
Literally. Yes.
New Year's Eve.
Yes.
Oh
my God.
Yes. The other guys, I'm not even going to say their names anymore.
You don't have to.
There's a fitness brand that practically spends all the money on New Year's Eve, and you can't miss them, right? So if you're not screaming, you're not going to be noticed. Yeah. So I think a good piece of advice for franchisees out there is do not rely on your logo to drive your business.
That's right.
Do not rely on your logo to drive your business. If you want to drive your business, get behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Put some gas in it, which in this scenario, gas means money.
Yeah. Okay, so I just Googled them.
There it is.
Pretty much, right?
There it is.
Peloton.
Can I drop the figurative mic? Oh, yeah, man. I'm telling you will be, after the podcast here, you spend a few minutes, you'll see what it's all about.
Yeah. But they just do the commercials?
No, look, they have a nice product.
There's a whole backstory.
It's a whole backstory.
You're missing out on,
but they have a nice product.
Yeah. The context. Yeah.
They have a nice product, right? They have treadmills, whatever, right? They have a nice products. But the point is the marketing side of it. Exactly. That's what we got on that topic.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's I'll check it out.
Kind of in a weird way, like right this minute, like they're getting benefit because they spend so much money because we have to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
You want us to beep out their name when we talk about them? What's the long-term goal for both of you guys? Is it 50 locations? Is it? We'll ask you, Manny.
Okay.
What's your long-term goal?
My claim to fame now is I have 5 going on 500.
Okay.
I don't want to stop.
Yeah.
I've lived the life of an employee, and I am super grateful for every second of it because I got here and I have my knowledge and my experience, and I wouldn't know where I would be without it. But I am looking for aggressive growth. I want to find a way to scale what I do best, and we are very, very motivated to.
So how many partners do you have again?
So it's one partner group. Okay. So it's me and 4 others.
Okay. Right, where are you guys looking for more locations at?
So good question, right? So it is all about acquisition now. South Florida's been sold out since 2013.
Yeah, it's over. It's over.
Yeah. So there's no more dirt. So, but someone, if there's a franchisee locally that has maybe gotten to that point, wink, wink, but really sometimes it gets there.
Yeah.
Sometimes franchisees get there. They've ridden the wave. Right. They've enjoyed the ride. But maybe they want to expand to something else. Maybe they want to do something different.
Right.
Fitness is what I do.
Yeah.
This is my life. This is my brand. This is my career. So I'm not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at.
For sure.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
I mean it.
Go fly.
All right. Well, we'll kind of wrap up here. But I wanted to ask you guys real quick. This is what we ask everybody at the end of the episode. First, one piece of advice you would give anybody that wants to either get into a franchise, or maybe even they're from a different state and they want to get into Orangetheory. What's that piece of advice you would give them? And two, who do you feel needs to be on this show in the franchise industry? I'll let you go first, Manny.
Oh, me first? I was going to let her go first.
All right,
she probably has a good answer for this one.
I'm pulling something out of thin air. Okay.
One piece of advice.
One piece of advice for anyone getting into any franchise. Mm-hmm. Be ready to ride some incredible emotional waves. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a thick skin already, be prepared to create one. while simultaneously holding onto your heart. So that would be my advice.
Good.
And who should you interview in the future?
Could be anybody, and it don't have to be local.
Interesting. I want to talk to whoever created Guthrie's.
Guthrie's.
Yeah. Chicken.
Okay.
Really, really good chicken.
Guthrie's.
I want to talk to that guy.
You want to talk to the founder?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll give it a shot.
Oh, you want them to come on here?
Yeah.
Was that the question? So who should
So
you interview next?
Who should be on the Franchisees United podcast next?
Oh, got it. Okay.
It can be anyone in the franchise world. It can be Orangetheory. It can be someone else you know as a franchisee. It can be whomever.
Yes.
Okay, got
Anyone
it.
in the industry. Who do you think?
Okay. Well, let me start. So
Start with one piece of advice. Yeah.
My advice.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the piece of advice that I actually shared with because I used to lead franchisee training also when I was in the office, and this is something I've used over and over again. I'm going to share it with you and your listeners. If you're not a people person, hire someone who is.
That's good.
Any business is a people first business.
That's really good.
If you're not going to be the person to lead by example, lead with energy, lead with leading the right way, you're not going to last too long, and your business is going to suffer for it, and you might be sadly surprised on your results.
Right.
So, and I used to call those mirror moments, right? So, look, man, every now and then you look at yourself in the mirror. It's a mirror moment. Be honest with yourself. Look at the mirror and say, you know what? I am not a people person.
Right.
I'm not sure about this. I'm better with, who knows? Maybe they're better with numbers. Maybe they got to be, whatever. So
self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Yeah.
Take that mirror moment. Be honest with yourself. And if you're not the people person, find someone who is and hand them the keys.
Yeah. That's huge. That's really good advice.
Yeah. So, and then who should you interview? Does it have to be a franchisee?
Anyone in the industry. So it doesn't have to be a franchisee.
In the fitness industry.
You could do that.
So anybody in the fitness industry who you should interview.
So I was saying in the franchise industry.
Franchise
so it could be
industry,
an employee of corporate. It could be a franchise owner. It could be an attorney. I
have someone.
Okay.
I have two people.
Okay.
Is that okay? Okay.
Absolutely.
I think you should interview Debo Brown. Okay. Debo Brown is someone who I've worked with closely for a very long time. And you know what she does? It's something that your franchisees might want to hear a lot more about.
Okay.
She trains. She's an educator.
Okay.
She trains franchisees. She trains teams of studios. She kicks studios off. So if you want to give some really good advice to your franchisees, that is a big deal, is the training and development side.
Absolutely.
Right? So that'd be a good one for you. And she's in the trenches, like she's on the front lines.
Yeah.
So she actually does it. So that'd be a good one. And the other one I think would be kind of cool is a buddy of mine. His name is Chris Tate. He is a master at recruiting. Like he is really good at recruiting. He's got he knows how to use LinkedIn very well. I mean, he just has a kind of a cool approach to not only just finding the right people, but recruiting the right people. Like, come on my team. Let's get to work.
Right.
So those are my two.
Okay.
Good picks.
Sounds good. We'll have to reach out to them. So where can any listeners that have listened to this episode today, if they want to get in touch with either of you guys, what's the best way? Is it email? And what is that? What's the best way to reach out to you?
What do you think, Kim?
If you're comfortable with it.
Kim prefers smoke signals.
I do.
So because she's flying around all the time. So maybe.
I do. You can always find me at Orangetheory Hallandale and Orangetheory Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay. What about if they want to reach out to you like online?
Oh, sure. You can find me on LinkedIn, Kimberly Wedderburn.
Kimberly Walker. Okay. What about you, Manny? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, thank you for that. So I am excited to announce that I am looking to build my brand in 2020, my personal brand within a brand. I have a lot to share, a lot to offer, and I'm getting excited about this coming year.
I don't know if you have enough energy, though.
Right?
I don't think so either. But you know what? Thanks for asking, because I do. I am getting ready for my own website.
Okay.
It's www.mannysierra.com.
Spell it for us.
Yes, MANNYCEARA .com. You can find me. I have a lot of awesome content coming on my Instagram handle. So it's at Manny Sierra, first name, last name. Facebook, Manny Orangetheory. I've had that for years. And I think that's good.
Perfect.
And smoke signals are an option.
Yes.
But if you want to get a quicker response.
And when's the website launching?
So right now it is just it's in preparation mode.
Okay.
But I think in a matter of a week or so I should be live.
Cool.
But it's live right now. People can go there and take a look at it and jot their information in. And I'll be doing some exciting some consulting on the side for business and for sales training. And I'm excited about 2020, man. I'm pumped.
Amazing.
It's going to be an awesome year for all of us.
For sure. Sounds good. Thank you, everyone, for listening to episode 4 of the Franchisees United podcast. Feel free to check us out on LinkedIn, Franchisees United, Instagram, and Facebook.